are going to get stretched together. Okay. I'm saying women because those are the only names I see on my screen. I apologize if there is, except Bob, but he's not really here, right? He's in his office doing something. So women, this is the time that we're going to honor our bodies and thank ourselves. Hey, Pat, thank ourselves for showing up for all the many things that we do all week long, all of these hats that we put on, right? Friend, sister, mother, wife, badass workout person, like all of these different hats that we put on right now. Let's honor ourselves by taking that energy, bringing it way down as we start to connect our minds with our bodies and just get a good stretch. If my words don't make sense, it doesn't matter. You know, do what you can, and let's start by doing some neck rolls. Whatever feels good to you. We're going to hit it all today. I have some stuff that I really wanted to hit on lower body, but that doesn't mean we're going to ignore those shoulders. And let's go in the opposite direction. And every week we focus on an R word: relax, release, repeat, range. Like, we've got so many R words. And if I remember correctly, and if not, that means we needed to do it again. But last week, I believe we did relax, where with every exhale, we went deeper. The focus this week is on the word release. And what do I mean by release? In our setting, what it means is that we're going to feel each deeply. So if I'm honoring that, I'm going to slow my neck circles down so that I can feel it deeply. If you happen to be able to feel it more deeply going fast with your speed, the next time that the left ear comes over to your left shoulder, let's leave it there. Now imagine that you have a string at the crown of your head and it's pulling you off to the diagonal. You're feeling the stretch over on the right side of your neck. And let's reach the right arm out. Thumbs are up. And now let's turn the thumb back so palm is up. And all of these are just suggestions. If you get here and it doesn't feel good, find something that feels good. From here, with my palm still facing up, I'm reaching behind my ear and opening up my elbow behind me. So I'm trying to open my chest, taking my opposite hand to my knee and twisting. As I come back to center, my arm drops down, and from here, I'm reaching my right arm away. It's almost as if you would think that I'm touching my mat, but I'm not. I'm pressing my hand down, trying to create length. And head comes up. Let's take our head to the other side. Notice I didn't do our normal stretch. I'm kind of trying to give you something. Don't want you to get bored here. Let's reach our left arm out. The thumb up to begin with. Palm up. Bending the elbow. Fingertips come behind my ear, and I'm opening up my chest as I reach my elbow. So I could go into a bigger twist, but I'm waiting right now. I'm trying to get my underarm to open, placing the back of my opposite hand on my knee. Now we twist more through our thoracic, so our mid-back. And everything comes back to center. From here, you may want to stay crisscross applesauce, or you can place your top leg on top of your, one leg on top of the other, however that feels good. Now from here, notice my knee is up a little. That's not by design, that's the way my body is. I'm trying to take my top knee and press down. So I'm trying to get my legs square. They're not doing it today, but that's okay. Where I'm feeling the stretch is in the outside here. Now, are you able to reach your hands forward? You may have to move the leg in order to do that. Find what feels comfortable to you, and I know that this might not be a comfortable pose, and then try to release. So feeling deeply the stretch over and on the left outer hip. For some of you, you may be ready to come down to your forearms. I have to move significantly to get here. I'm going to move my foot. Nope, don't feel it anymore. There we go. Necks are long. What would happen if every time you exhaled, you let go a little bit more deeply? Can we walk the hands out now with straight arms? As we do this, have your chest sink deeper in to see if you can start to feel a little bit of stretch in your upper shoulders, but that left hip is really releasing at this point. A little tip to feel it more in your shoulders is to press your hands down. Have yourself with active hands, and that will help. If you'll humor me for just a second and really take such a deep breath through your abdominal area, lower, so diaphragmatic breathing. If you can inhale, feel that stretch as you inhale really deeply and exhale to let go. That makes such a big difference. And then let's walk our hands up. All right, switch legs. Let's ground both of our sits bones into the mat before we even get started. And now the top knee on this side of me is completely different. On the other side, it was way up here, and here it's down. So we have some incongruencies, right? The symmetry isn't always right, but this knee, we're honoring it. We're asking it to go down a little bit closer to the ground. And then maybe we start to lean forward, little spider tip fingers to begin with. And for me, I'm already ready to go down to my forearms, but if you're not, listen to where your body is ready to go. This feels intense. So I'm staying here, feeling the move deeply. And every time I exhale, I'm seeing if I can let go just a little bit more. What a nice way to honor your body for showing up for you all week. What would happen if we extended our arms out and started to press through our hands, allowing our chest to sink lower? We'll back our hands up. You can stay right where you are. I'm turning to the side so that I have a place to lean back that won't hurt my elbows. What I'm doing is I'm taking one leg in front of the other. So I'm basically in the same sitting position. I'm just going to turn my body and lean back so that my elbows have a place to go. Both knees are trying to open from here. So inner thighs, groin, I've got an arch in my low back on purpose because I'm pressing my knees down. If I weren't pressing my knees down, they would naturally float up. So knees are down. If you can safely get into the next position without moving your arms, you can watch me or come up and then do it. So I'm turning into a Z sit, helping my leg back, and I'm here. So the leg that's closest to you, that foot is aimed up towards the ceiling. Now, what we're trying to get is the thigh stretch, and in order to do that, if your knee wants to pop up, see if you can reach your knee and press it down towards your mat. The more you're able to gently tuck your chin into your chest and get a long line in your neck, the better that will feel on your neck. Now from here, we're rotating by lifting the front bummy cheek, the one that's closest to you. That one's lifting as I twist away and reach. So I'm stretching my thigh a little bit more, but now I've got my spinal twist involved. From here, let's take our heads and our necks and look down for a neck stretch. The arm that's furthest away from you, the one that's down, is still with my forearm down. And I rotate back, keeping my knee down. Now I'm switching my Z-sit to the other side. So, taking the leg that's furthest from you and reaching it back, finding that place on my forearms where I can stay here for a little while. The foot that's farthest away from you is aimed up towards the ceiling and forearms are down. If your thigh needs to be stretched a little bit more, we can add what's called PNF. And the PNF is when we tense the muscles first and hold. So we press the knee down, tense for 1, 2, 3, and then we release the knee. So that's what's called a PNF stretch, where you contract the muscle and you release it. Let's try it again. Reach down and contract the muscle or tense it for 3, 2, 1, and then release. From here, we take the knee, aim it down, press it towards our mat. As we reach the thigh up, we take the back bummy cheek off, arm reaches over. Right now, my face is aimed towards you. In a minute, we'll get the neck involved. Feel the stretch through the right or the top hip flexors. And now I look down. My bottom arm hasn't done anything. Continue to press your hips forward, holding your back knee down, so the one that's farthest from me. And from here, we're coming out of this by taking both legs forward and sitting up. All right, so from here, I'm sitting up nice and tall. The leg closest to you remains straight, bending the one farthest from you in. Now, if you can't bend this high, I'll do the other one so you can see. Your foot can be here on the calf or all the way up. So let's take a moment. If you've got a fleshy bottom like I do, move the flesh of the bottom out of the way. See if you can find the ischium, which are your sits bones, and have them firmly grounded into your mat and flex the foot of the straight leg. Let's take our opposite hand and grab the outside of our foot as we come over and just melt. And what I'm trying to melt is my belly onto my quad, onto my thigh. Check in with your foot that's bent, so the one that's closest to you. See if that foot is tense. If so, loosen it up. And let's breathe through the hamstring that's being stretched on the straight leg. As we start to roll up, we're taking the outside of our hand, reaching it to ankle, and inhaling as we twist the spine again, reaching the arms in a straight line from fingertip to fingertip. They're in a diagonal, straight line. Coming back over, one more hug to the knee. If you can get your nose to your knee, great. And let's switch. Just as a reminder, we're starting off on our sits bones, grounded in both of those little bones. Foot is flexed, opposite hand to the outside. And sinking into that belly to thigh. Today's focus, release. Feeling each movement deeply. The back of the hand that's closest to you is going to ankle, and as we inhale, it's like we're drawing our bow out and opening. One more hug down to our leg. How close can we get to our shin with our forehead? From here, let's lie down. The leg farthest from you, I'm taking the ankle, crossing it over the leg. And today we're starting off with a tall number 4, interlacing the fingers and placing them behind the left leg. Right elbow reaches for our almost inner thigh, but it's right below our, or right above our knee, and press. So let's talk about that PNF one more time for this move. I'll probably mention it a couple of times. It's a contraction and then a release, or a tension and release. So as we inhale, we're pressing the elbow again gently against the knee that's bent, and then releasing. So it's a tensing up. We're feeling this in, well, all over the place, really, glutes and hamstrings. Let's bend the top leg, re-interlace our fingers on our shins if we can reach. If not, that's why we have that strap. You can use your strap. Gently pull your knee a little closer and feel that big stretch on that outer right glute. If your shoulders have started to come forward,
See if you can soften them down a little bit closer to your mat. Let's place the left foot down, grabbing onto our right ankle with our left hand. And from here, maintain the shape of your legs as you stamp your right foot across and down onto the floor. So you're twisting through your low back and through thoracic, a little bit of both, and reach your right arm out to a T, which just means it comes out from your shoulder. And now let's look at our right hand. From here, keep everything exactly the way you have it, and let's add on. The right knee, the one that's aimed towards the ceiling that's crossed over, see if you can take that knee and push it away from you. It wants to creep over and reach for your left shoulder. You're going to press the right knee away from you to the wall on the other side of the room from you. Big, deep breaths. And let's slowly come back to center and switch. We're starting with a tall number 4, interlacing our fingers behind our right thigh this time, and taking the left elbow and gently pressing the knee out. What would happen if you took your tailbone and tried to anchor it down versus allowing that slight curve in your low back to let it tilt up? What would happen if you took the tailbone and low back and tried to press them down? It's a subtle 1/2 inch switch, but it definitely has you feel it in a different way. From here, let's interlace our fingers on the other side of the calf this time and give a little pull. As we bend the right knee, our right hand comes to our left ankle. We allow the right foot to come all the way down onto the mat. We stamp over with our left foot and reach long with our left arm. Oh, so many rights and lefts. And let's look at our left fingertips. Here's the added part that makes this one oh so painful in a good way. We're taking the knee that's crossed over, which is our left knee, and pressing it away from our right shoulder. Feel how much deeper that feels, releasing, feeling each move deeply. As we bring everything back to center, let's hug our knees into our chest and rock side to side. Continue to hold your right shin with both hands and allow your left leg to go long. And switch legs. Tuck the knees in, roll up. From here, we're going into wide leg stick pose. I'm just kind of getting life back together there. All right, so wide leg stick pose here. Oh, all right, this is as wide as I can go. I'm moving the flesh in my bottom again, out of the way, because it kind of gets in the way. And you may have to start with bent knees, and that's okay. But here we are, coming forward.
I'm hoping that with every exhale, I might be able to straighten my knees a little bit more, but we'll see. Good. There we go. All right, my feet are flexed, but yours don't have to be. Now, I'm tensing the muscles on top of my legs as I press the underside of my legs to the mat. So it's a tense, press, and then release. Now, if your body allows you to come down flat with belly to your mat, go for it. I'm meeting my body where it is today, which is about right here. And then just breathing through it. Breathing through where? I'm trying to send a lot of energy to the underneath side of my legs, releasing any tension that I've been holding back there, and stretching just a little bit more than I did a moment ago. What if on every inhale, we thought of the word nourish? And on exhale, release. Inhale, nourish. And exhale, release. Let's back our hands up. I need to help my legs in. And let's come over and do a little bit of shoulder stretching for now. All right, so I'm in quadruped to begin with. Knees are under hips. From here, I'm going to walk my hands out and allow my chest to come close to the mat. Forehead is down on the mat. This is one version. I'm going back to that version in just a second to show you something, but you may prefer a version where your bottom is lower. From here, I'm going to show you from the side and then I'll show you from the front, and I don't know which way you'll be able to see it better. I'm taking my hands just a little bit wider and then internally rotating a shoulder down. I'll do it both arms and then I'll do it from the front so you can see it's a rotation. You might be able to see better if I do it straight on. So yeah, okay. So here I am. It's a rotation. So I'm swiveling the shoulder in. Swivel in and feel that stretch. Come back to center and swivel the other way. Find what works for you and go back and forth. Holding as long as you need to hold to feel a good stretch. Not going too fast. But you definitely don't have to go at the same speed that I'm going in. And swivel back and forth. Once you're even, which I'm even now, I'm coming to the middle and walking my hands back. If you'd like to sit on the back of your toes, you can. It's another shoulder stretch, but I'm just doing the added sitting on my toes, trying to line everything up straight, ears, shoulders, hips, feet, and then taking one shoulder over. So I'm going to stay this way because I think everybody knows the stretch where I don't have an issue, but just know you're not on your elbow. You're either above it or below it, and try both. And see, for years, I always did the one where I was up here above my elbow, And when I tried it below, a little closer to my wrist, right on my forearm, I actually felt a deeper stretch. And let's switch. Now, if your feet can't tolerate this any longer, you've done it long enough, come out of this for your feet. We just wanted to give the feet a little bit of stretch here. All right, let's step forward with the leg that's farthest from you is the one that I'm using first. I'm stepping forward, allowing my leg to come back. Now, if this doesn't feel good, you can come more into the marriage proposal. If you're in this long lunge, our hands are inside of our right foot and neck is long. This is where you would want to grab a block or two if you need it. If you don't need the block, you can come straight down onto your forearms, or maybe just one forearm. The whole time I'm doing this, I'm trying to keep my hips square. So if my hips get out of alignment, then I don't lower out the other forearm. Let's back our hands up to where our elbows just were and walk our foot across. Now, if this doesn't work for you, keeping the back leg straight, you can bend the back leg. But for right now, I'm trying to keep my shin parallel with the short side of my mat, or taking my heel in closer if that doesn't feel good, to keep it parallel. I think last week I couldn't do this on one side, but this week I can. So just kind of leaning into where I am for today. Square the hips, good. And then if you can come down onto forearms, this is a nice place to be. Arms can go long as well. Find what feels good to you today. For me, it's the Sphinx, so on my forearms. I'm gonna back my hands up to where my elbows just were and see if I can get a slight extension in my spine. Before we switch over to the other side, we're going to do one other thing for this leg. So facing you, I'm going to cross the same leg that was in front over and try to get both of my sits bones down. So if the leg doesn't cross over, it comes to this side, all right? Either side is fine. Both sits bones are down. And if you look down at your feet, they're parallel to one another. They're like in the same line. I shouldn't say parallel. They're in the same line with one another. This should feel hopefully really good in this outer hip. And from here, we start to fold, not fold because I don't want you to crunch. We start to lead with our chest forward. Let's come back to being tall here, grabbing the outside of the front leg, foot, and holding it. If that feels good, it may feel better to grab it with your arm the other way and hold. We've got a nice, pretty straight spine. And if you'd like to remove the other hand, get a little twist through your spine and reach. We are stretching lots now and opening up at the clavicle. And down we come. Now we're ready for the other side. So we started off, we're gonna have to do this one first. We started off here, right? All right, so let's see if I could repeat everything on this side. Hands were here or on a block. Yeah, there we go. So hip flexor stretch first. And then down on one forearm if you can. If the hips are still square, take the other forearm down. No strain on the neck. Coming up. Now let's walk the foot to the back part of our mat. And are we able to drop the knee down and keep the shin lined up with our mat? I can't do it on this side. I'm rolling over. Let's see. Nope, I'm rolling over. So to keep the integrity of my form, I'm going to turn myself into a Z sit or bring my heel a little closer in. There we go. And I can immediately come down to the Sphinx here. And we'll extend our arms long. As I inhale, nourish. And as I exhale, release. Coming back to that Sphinx. Now with my heel into my inner thigh, I'm going to see if I can straighten out the back leg. I'm just kind of playing with my body. No, it really doesn't want to do that today. Taking my hands where my elbows just were. And from this position, I can't get the extension that I could a moment ago. But let's see there. Now I can get it. There we go. All right, turning toward one another again. So the same leg that's forward, that's the one that is going to cross over. So we tuck one under and the same leg, which happens to be left for me now. All right. And remember, it's fine to have the foot here. So our two goals for right now, sits bones are both down and our heels are relatively on the same plane. And then we sit. Even a move this easy, like it looks easy, is not necessarily easy, right? I should say a move that looks this simple. It ain't that simple. And maybe a little spider tip touch with our fingers. Maybe palms are down. And I'm rounding my back to get my forearms down. Right, I'm sitting back up tall now, taking the outside blade of my foot because it feels better for me to reach straight with this hand on the outside blade and stretch. A lot of good stretching going on there. And we'll lower down. Okay, for shoulders, we're gonna do one more here, and then we're gonna hit them one last time as we hit lots of things in just a minute. So we're gonna thread the needle this time. And the reason I took a break, actually we're gonna go knees over hips, or you can do it like this. Either way is fine for shoulders. But the reason that I broke our shoulders up is I really wanted to give them a chance to stretch, leave them alone for a minute, and then come back and see if we could go a little deeper. So as I thread my needle, I'm going to play with where I can feel it more in my shoulder, whether it's my bottom on heels or bottom or hips over knees. And coming out of my thread the needle, we'll go to the other side. We're back into quadruped, and from here, let's take our hands barely forward of our shoulders. Spread the fingertips really wide. So you've got starfish fingers, and let's press our palms down, engaging our upper body. Tuck our toes and send our tailbones up. Right. Now that we're in this inverted V, play with your hands and decide where you want to feel the stretch. Because this particular movement that we're in, we can focus on the Achilles. You can focus on the calves. You can focus between your shoulder blades by pushing your head and chest a little bit closer to your mat and having a lot of energy out through your hands. Decide where you want to feel the stretch and then move it after maybe 2 breaths. Move it to another area of your body. Take 2 breaths. Eventually, you might want to bend one knee slightly and allow the other heel to go down, feeling it more deeply through the plantar or the sole of the foot, of the heel that's reaching down. And then you might want to switch. So this is a catch-all, seriously, for shoulders, Achilles, calves, hamstrings. I don't think I really appreciated the beauty of this until I started doing it. And sometimes if I don't have time to stretch during the day, this is the one thing that I will sink into for 90 seconds and feel between my shoulders, my hands, my forearms. I feel it all. From here, you can start to back your hands up only if you'd like to switch the movement and feel the stretch more in your hamstrings. Let's go flat back if you want hamstrings. Hands gently on shins. So we're in a straight line from our shoulders to our hips and really feeling the backs of the legs. As we remove our hands and let them dangle, notice how already there's a little pressure off of our, a little tension off of our hamstrings. Let's round the back and stretch out our low back. If you're able to step on your hands with your fingertips aimed back to your heels, see how that feels. Get a little forearm stretch by bending your elbows slightly. Removing your hands. Coming back to that flat back, trying to feel the backs of the legs. Removing the hands and allowing yourself to sink, rounding the low back, maybe taking opposite elbows in your hands just to feel that rounding in your low back and releasing. You might want to be a pendulum, or you might want to twist side to side. And then slowly start
to roll up, rolling the shoulders back, and thanking yourself for showing up today. Man, we hit it all, my friends. We did. We hit it all. Thank you so much for showing up. Oh, I'm feeling so grounded and centered. I sure hope you all are as well. Let's just unmute and see what kind of comments or questions we have, because I have a question for you all, well, for Iris in particular. All right. Questions.
Thank you, Leslie.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
You're
thank
welcome,
you.
Judy.
Have a good weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. Great class.
Terrific, as always.
Have a great week.
Thank you. Iris, don't go anywhere because I have a question for you, but I
Okay.
wanted to see, anybody have any questions?
No,
Oh,
Great class.
Leslie,
Yes?
because I can't do, when we go to the side and when we lift ourselves up on the side, with one arm.
That he said, no,
Sidearm plank?
even to offer. I said, that can't be true. I know him. I know him well. Oh, I couldn't go on Friday. I go, no,
Hold
I
on.
couldn't go anywhere.
Somebody's conversation is going on.
Yeah.
I just muted
Wait,
them.
Leslie, can you hear me? Alyssa?
I can hear you now, Alyssa.
Oh,
figured
okay. Did I
it was.
interrupt? I
muted
didn't
them.
see you. Okay. I wasn't seeing you. Were you in the midst of a conversation?
No,
You and-
somebody was having a conversation.
Oh, okay. Just real quick, because of my shoulders being weak, when we go on that side, and one hand, almost like a cartwheel thing on the side, do I just go to my forearm?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a side, I think you're talking about a sidearm plank. So
Yes.
yeah, just go down to your forearm, keeping your elbow right underneath your shoulder, and then let me know how that feels.
Okay. Well, that would feel better. And just in case I can't do that, just
Lower, then
one
lower-
side I can't. Yeah.
Okay, then if you can't do that one, or you need a little bit more support, put that lower knee down, the knee that's closer to the mat, lower
Yes.
that leg down. It'll take some of the load off of the upper body and into
Okay.
your lower body.
Got it.
Okay.
Thanks.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
for your class. Hi, Iris.
You're welcome.
Hi.
Hey,
Yeah.
Iris, what was the shoulder one that I did last week that you liked so much? I can't remember which one it was.
I'm not sure I remember it correctly, but you did this,
Oh, yes.
and then
And then it was the I think it's called reach and hug. Yeah. So it's over. Yeah.
but you
I
gotta
really wanted
grab
to do that.
you gotta grab the
Yeah.
upper arm, and then
Yes.
bend at the elbow.
Yep. It was the bending at the elbow. Yep. I knew there was one shoulder one I was forgetting, and I was like, dang, I did it last week and now I can't remember.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I've been doing it all week.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
And then there was when we did the foam roller,
Yes.
I remember we did the reaching and then the flossing
Yes.
and then over the head and like this and
Prayer, yeah.
elbows higher than wrists. But was there one more?
I added the angel wing one. So you start off with your arms in a W, and then you circle up and down, keeping yourself open over that foam roller the whole time. So it's just a W.
Okay.
Yeah.
And elbows were higher than wrists?
Not necessarily on that one. You were just trying to open up at your chest and go back and forth, back and forth.
Okay. I couldn't
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah, that was the only other one.
Thank you.
All right, my friends. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend, and I look forward to hopefully seeing everybody on Monday.
Thanks, Leslie.
yeah, thanks,
All right,
Leslie.
you're welcome.
Did I misunderstand about coffee and chat? I thought it was, were we not having it now?
No, you didn't I don't think you misunderstood. I'm not doing it right now because
That's what I thought. All
I
right.
have dog training every Saturday morning right now.
But I hope to resume it at some point. I'm really curious to see when the JCC is going to open, though, as well, to see if we are going to actually see each other face to face, or if we did like a social distance sort of coffee thing in my backyard. Like, I'm just so curious to see what's going to happen, because as much as I love to Zoom, and I do really love, it would be nice to see people in person too, stay those
Right.
6 feet away, and I don't know.
Usually
So
when I ran into
we'll see.
Leslie, all I did was that whole day I went around telling everybody, I see Leslie, I see Leslie, I see Leslie.
I know, it's crazy to see somebody like in person, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. And I look forward to a wonderful weekend and seeing you all on Monday.
Thanks
right.
again. Bye
All
bye.
right. Bye.